Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode. This is episode number 208 for March the 7th, 2023, and you can see I am enjoying some coffee from my new coffee maker machine, which is to die for. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you haven't seen my vlog from yesterday. So check that out, and all will be revealed. So let's have a drink. Nice. Okay, let's move right into what I have been working on, shall we? Well, here is Color Splash. This is the block of the month quilt that I have been working on for 6 months now. I think we're at month 6. Not done yet. There are 2 months to go, and then it'll be finished. Now, at this point, I was kind of thinking it looks pretty much finished as it is, but no. There is another border to put on this, and the border that's going to go all the way around this outside part. Looks like this one that's around the inside part. Now, that looks like a lot of little pieces, I know, but the secret there is, and many of you would probably have figured this out already, is that you put strips of fabric together in the different colors, and then you cut them to get a number of pieces, and then you lay them out so that you can sew them row by row. So it isn't that difficult, but it does have a really nice effect. The hard part about this is making sure you have everything lined up in the proper order, because if you take a look at this border in here, you'll notice that it is symmetrical, or mirror-like, whichever. What happens here on the diagonal happens here on the diagonal, but opposite. Okay, I don't know if I'm making any sense of that, but I think you've grasped the concept with it. Of course, this is all applique. The applique is all done now, thank goodness. Although I have to say, once you got into it, it went fairly quickly. It wasn't that difficult to do, and I did the applique all in Invisifill thread. You can see it, and I just did a running stitch around each piece. But this whole quilt is batiks, and as well as the appliques, and so a minimal amount of fraying. Now, I have a big decision to make when I have this completely finished and I have it quilted and bound. Do I wash it? Only because I am afraid of some fraying. I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm not going to, because I really don't know what I'm going to do with this quilt. It is a keeper. I'm not giving it away to anybody. I wish I had a place to put it, and I may find a place to hang it on a wall, depending. I'll have to wait. And if that's the case, then I don't think I'll wash it. Just because I don't want anything to fray on it. But anyways, there's 2 more installments to this, as I said. But Donna, the hostess with the mostest, who is running this class from Ultimate Sewing as a Zoom class, has decided to put month 7 and month 8 together. So basically there's only 1 more installment, because she says the 8th month is just another black border. Well, that's not a big deal. So yeah, it will be done soon. I probably won't have it done before we go on our first trip of the year to Vancouver, but it'll be on my list to get quilted when I get back, probably. We'll see how that goes. Okay, that's one project. And let me just find the other one here. Now, this one was a really quick little project. I did it on a Saturday during a pop-up sew day. This is a pattern that was designed by Kim Jameson Hurst of Chatterbox Quilts and the Quilter's Way. She has designed this because the Quilter's Way group, we often do a lot of little projects that she creates for us. And we'll be doing this one, I think, soon. But I jumped the gun and I have mine done. And it's all quilted and bound. It is not a huge piece. I think it measures about 45 inches square. So it's more of a wall hanging size. And I don't know where I'm going to put it. Right now I have it folded up and sitting on my stack of quilts. But as I said, it was a pretty easy quilt. I did change her instructions. She had you do 3.5-inch unfinished half square triangles in a rainbow color effect. She is a representative for, I believe it's Riley Blake Fabrics and or Michael Miller. No, I think it's Riley Blake. And so, of course, she was using their new fabrics that they sent her to create this as a sample piece, showing off those fabrics. And I did like those, but I didn't have any of those ones. And I had charm packs. I have a ton of charm packs. I collect them, kind of a thing. And I thought, well, let's just change the dimensions. I know that if I make half square triangles from 5-inch squares, 4.5-inch, did I say 4.5-inch half square triangles? Yes, I did. It's really simple to do. So I just did it from that. So my finished quilt comes out bigger than hers. And I also added a couple of borders. I did a sort of a piece border using the leftover cutoffs from the charm pack, and then just add another black border. And my quilting is done geometrically. I don't know, there was something about that pattern I thought would work well with this pattern. I often do curvy types of quilting patterns when I have something that's more linear in the design of the quilt, but this one just sort of cried out for this one. So I did it. And I think it turned out pretty good. Yes, if you look at it closely, I have a couple of little jaggy parts where the pieces didn't quite match up. But this is one time when you can really say that will quilt out, because it did with this particular quilting pattern. And I did it fairly densely as well. So yeah, that one's done. And this one. Now, this one is a complete original design made up of scraps and orphan blocks. I had a ton of very nicely colored, beautiful fabric, actually, that Walter bought me, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And those colored pieces you see there are it's called Poured, is the design. I'm not sure who it's by, can't remember right now. I made the Mosaic Star quilt by Stephanie Stitches back some time ago, and you have seen that one. But I had all these scraps left over, and I just didn't want to get rid of them. So I decided to, well, actually, let me back up for a second. I thought, well, these scraps are so nice, I would just sew them all together randomly in making fabric. And then using my AccuQuilt, I cut them into 10-inch squares, layer cake. And my idea was I'd throw them all together and just maybe put black borders around them or black sashing, and it would look sort of stained glassy like or whatever. I started to do that, and I didn't really like the effect. And then I thought, well, I have a 3x6 finished flying geese die from AccuQuilt. Why not make stars? Because I do like stars, and that's what I did. Now, I had enough pieces to make that center part of the quilt, but I didn't have enough to make it any bigger. So I thought, well, what am I going to do? So I went into a box I have that is basically orphan blocks. I had been experimenting with another die from AccuQuilt for the Lemoyne Star, and I decided, what the heck, let's make a bunch of those. And I had already made those at one point. My idea was I was probably going to put them all together and make another type of sort of orphan block quilt. Never got around to it. So I pulled out 4 of those and incorporated them into this quilt on the top and the bottom of that center piece. And then just rounded it all out with a series of borders. So I decided to split up the black border with a colored strip, just again for interest as well. I am very pleased with the way this quilt turned out. Now, it hasn't been quilted yet. It's sitting on Lucy waiting to be done. However, I do, for something that was just made up out of my head, I didn't put a whole lot of thought in it. I just made things and slapped them up on my design wall, moved them around, and fixed it up, finished it up. So yeah, so I'm calling it Wild Stars, for lack of a better name, because my stars are, at least in the center part of the quilt, are pretty wild in their colors. And actually, I have a secondary pattern. You can see it in there too if you look at it. So yeah, and this one measured, It's about a full size. I think it's about 60 some inches across by 80 some inches long, something like that. So it's an okay size quilt. So yeah, that's the next thing I have to get on to Lucy. Maybe later today or later this week, I'll get to that. Okay. Excuse me while I clear my throat. So that is what I have been up to. Now, some other things that have happened in the past week. We had Craft and Chat on this past Wednesday. That's always lots of fun. And that was a double whammy day because Craft and Chat fell on a Wednesday. Well, it always falls on a Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month. We also had Sew with Stephanie and Stephen at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, which, as a reminder, we will be having that again tomorrow, Wednesday, March the 8th, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. All are welcome to join us for about an hour and a half of just doing some morning sewing, getting our day going kind of a thing. But anyways, we had that last Wednesday morning, and in the afternoon we had Craft and Chat. So it was basically a full day of sewing. And there are many of you that joined us for both of those sessions. Stephanie was not able to join last week because she was off having a great time, if you've seen her video, at the So Yeah sewing retreat, which sounded absolutely fantastic. You know, maybe someday I'll get to one of those. I don't know. But it sounded like it was just wonderful. So anyways, Stephanie will be with us, though, tomorrow for Sew with Stephanie and Stephen. And then I had a pop-up sew day this past Saturday as well. Now, I hadn't planned to have one, so it was a last-minute thing. We got snow, a lot of snow, snowmageddon, basically, storm of the century, you know, how these weather reporters like to embellish everything. But anyways, it started on Friday night, and when I got up at 6 o'clock Saturday morning, we were buried, and it was still snowing. And when I say buried, I mean buried. We got about 30 centimeters of snow when it was all finished that day. So I wasn't going anywhere, and I thought, this is perfect. Snow day. Snow day. So I dropped in a message into the mailing list for pop-up sew day and sent it out, and many of you joined me, and that was a lot of fun. We sewed all day long, kept me company. I got a lot done. Well, I got the quilt you just saw a moment ago all quilted up, or not quilted up, but all pieced together. So that was great. Now, this got me thinking about how I handle pop-up sew days. And you know, I have that other link that I seldom use, the one that I thought I would try, where if I'm sitting around just sewing for the day and I want some company, that I would just activate it. And if you were in the same boat, you could try it out and see if I was there. And if I was there, I'd let you in. Well, that's kind of hit and miss, isn't it? And it's mostly miss, because I really haven't done that very often. And I'll tell you why. It's because I get sewing, but I don't know what the day will bring. Usually I start sewing first thing in the morning, after I've done what I call paperwork, you know, check my email, check the other sites I'm on, do this kind of a thing. And away I go. But there's no saying what the day will bring. I mean, usually Walter doesn't get up till noon. So, you know, the second half of the day, there might be something we have to do, or we have to run an errands or do something like that. And I really don't want to, you know, be on for only an hour, 2 hours or something like that, and then have to cut it off. So I'm thinking I'm going to eliminate that link, and I'm just going to use the pop-up sew day link. But what I will do is, when I think that I can spend the majority of a day sewing, I will send out an email to everybody on my pop-up sew list and let them know that I'm available if they would like to join in. Now, originally I started the pop-up sew days for people who could not make our craft and chat. So I placed it always on a Saturday when I had it, because those people that couldn't make craft and chat were working during the week. Go figure, right? So that was the original plan, but now I'm changing that plan. And what'll happen is, when I feel that I can spend the day sewing, I will send out a message with the link the Zoom link to everybody that's on my pop-up sew list. So if you want to be part of that, if you are not on my mailing list for pop-up sew days, let me know if you want to be on it, and I will gladly. I got the hiccups now. Must be the coffee. I will gladly put you on that mailing list. So all you have to do is just send me your name. Well, and please sign your emails when you send them to me, because I don't know who you are from your email address in many cases, because you're using an email address, a nickname or something that is not your real name. So I don't know who you are, what to call you. So please, when you send me an email of any kind, please sign your name. First and last name would be very helpful. Now, don't worry, I don't share this with anybody else. Okay, I keep all your information absolutely private. I promise you that. Okay, but it just makes things a little easier for me. But anyways, if you want to be part of the pop-up sew day list, if you're not already on it, just send me an email and I'll happily put you on that. And I'll happily put you on all of my mailing lists if you wish. The retreat mailing list, pop-up sew day, craft and chat as well. Okay, so that brings me to Sewers Club. I've got the March box. It actually arrived on March the 1st. I was surprised at that. But it did come. Here it is. And I'm going to show you what's in it. Now, I told you that I was a little bit not displeased with this box. Excuse me again. But I'm not excited by it, and I'm paying over $60 a month for this, Canadian. I mean, it's 15 fat quarters. Just the value is, it's good price. Okay, no complaints about that. That includes the shipping that I'm paying too, and the taxes that I have to pay. So, really, that's pretty good, given that in this country right now, on average, a fat quarter is $4.75 to $5. So, and there's 15 of them in this. And as I told you before, you're allowed to sort of curate what you get in the box, and I have done that. And I am not displeased, but I'm not that excited. So I think I mentioned last month that I was going to get it one more time and make a decision as to whether I'm going to cancel this box or not. So let's take a look at it, and then I'm going to say what I've made up my mind. I have already looked at this. So here you go. Comes with the little card, as it always does, which I think is an excellent thing. It tells you what the fabric line is. And here are the fabrics for March. Now, of course, I see some green, and I would expect some green, But right off the bat, when I opened this, I felt let down. I am not in love with this display of color. I really am not. So let's look at them closer, shall we? So we have a pinky solid. Okay, first of all, I'm not fond of pinks, but I did not say that. To be fair to the people at Source Club, I did not mark this as not wanting it. I could have, but I didn't. So that's my bad. Florals. I couldn't remember whether or not I checked florals. I thought originally I had taken florals off the list, and then I put it back on. And I think I did put it back on. So I got some florals. This isn't bad, in the reds and that. Red is a color that I don't have a lot of in my stash. So, okay. Well, maybe I should be rating these out of 5. This one I give a 2 out of 5 because I don't like pink. This one has some pink in it, but there's some reds. It's floral, 3 out of 5. This one's okay. Again, more reds, and when I go for reds, I usually go more into this rusty, reddy color, deeper reds. This one is a keeper, 4 out of 5. Another floral. Okay, I'm sorry, old lady fabric. Old person fabric, sorry. Okay. If I saw it in a store, I wouldn't buy it. 2 out of 5. Now we're getting to some blenders. Now this is something I have had this before, this sort of gradient look, and this is something, although it's a little bit pastel-y, this one I would use. I could see using it somewhere. 3 out of 5. A couple of more solids. Shade of blue, well, that's okay, 4 out of 5. Shade of lavender, purpley, I would use it. I wouldn't buy a lot of it. I use a lot of it though, because I kind of stay away from the lavenders. I like purple, but when it starts moving into the pinky lavender sort of stages, not so much. 3 out of 5. Okay, another print. It is a flower print. Again, not something that if I saw it on the bolt in a store, I would would gravitate towards. However, having said that, I could see using it in something. 3 out of 5. Okay, another floral. It's a free spirit. It's reminiscent of Cafe Facet. I'm just looking here and seeing. Who is it by? Oh, it's Tula Pink. I should have known. Yeah, Tula Pink. Okay, I know. You're going to get upset with me. I'm not a fan of Tula Pink. Sorry. I think it's kind of cute. No idea how to use it. This one, maybe fussy cut it for something. I don't know. 3 out of 5. Okay, another blender in blues, sort of a gradient. This one I like. 4 out of 5. Another one in the same style, different color, a little yellow and gold. Again, I would use this. 4 out of 5. Okay, now we're getting into the greens for the month. Okay. I think this might be, is this a batik? Yeah, I think this might be a batik. I like batiks. Greens. Green's another color I don't have a lot in my stash. I should have more of it. Yes, I could see using this, mainly because it's a batik and I like batiks. 3.5 out of 5. Now I'm getting picky. Another green, sort of a gradient. Looks sort of like waterish kind of a thing. Yeah, I could use it, I guess. 3 out of 5. When I give something a 3 out of 5, it means possibly not really thrilling me to death. But yeah, along with some other fabrics, it would work. Okay, well, solid green. Yeah, you need a solid green in your collection. 4 out of 5. And then we've got your novelty print for St. Patty's Day. I don't really do anything for St. Patty's Day in terms of projects. However, this isn't bad. You know, as novelty fabrics go, I could see this being cute with maybe some gnomes, of course, leprechauns on it, you know, something fun, like a, you know, a little wall hanging or something like that. I'll give this actually a 4 out of 5 because I can see potential here for something just a little bit fun. Okay, so those are the fabric selections this month. Overall, how I would rate this box, 2.5 out of 5. Yeah, I'm sitting on the fence on this one. So, what am I going to do? Well, I want to see what I'd actually had picked, and there was no way to see my selections and to alter them on their website, on Sewers Club website. So I wrote to them, to Elizabeth, who's one of the owners, I think, or the owner. Very nice lady. She got right back to me. I told her what my dilemma was. I said I'd like to, you know, I don't remember exactly what I picked when I first joined up. I'm wondering if there's a way I can get a copy of that somehow. If is there something here on your website where I can go in and change some of my selections? And she said, that's something they're working on. That right now you can't do that, but she was more than happy to send me my original selection list from the order somehow through her Shopify or whatever. She could do that. And if I want to change anything, just to drop her a note, an email, and she would see that it got changed. So she did send that to me. I checked it over. It didn't say on my list that I had picked florals. However, the way that the list came to me and printed out, I have a feeling some of it got cut off a little bit. So I'm not sure what process she used to send it. It must be fairly difficult with the setup she has right now. So I have decided to go for one more month. I wrote to her and said I definitely don't want florals. I didn't change any of the colors though. I left them all the same. And I double checked to see what I had said I didn't want, which were animal prints, juvenile, and kids. And so far I have not had any of those, so they've honored that. So we'll see next month. I am thinking though that probably, unless next month's box really turns my crank, that will be my last month. Because when you think about it, I'm spending like a little over $60 a month on this. Now she has other plans too. You don't have to have it every month. Okay, that's my decision. But that's over $600 a year on fat quarters. Yeah. And 12 times 15 fat quarters, that's what? 12 times 1,550. It's 180 fat quarters. That's a lot of fat quarters. I already have a lot of fat quarters too. I like fat quarters, but you know, I like them because I like the patterns on them, but I don't use them that much. I'm thinking of starting to do maybe tote bags or other things like that and using fat quarters up in those kind of a thing, just to use them. So yeah, my decision is I'm giving it one more month. And if it's lackluster like this box was for me, then I'm just going to cancel it. Now, having said that, this isn't really anything against the company per se. The quality of the fabric is excellent. No complaints there. And I mean, it's got to be a difficult job trying to please everybody with every piece. And I know that. I know that I can't find that every piece that comes in this box I'm going to be absolutely in love with. That's just impossible for that, because I'm not there to select it myself, right? So they do the best job they possibly can. But given what I've already said, I think next month will probably be my last month. However, that's not to say that you shouldn't give it a try. And one advantage too of Sewers Club is you can cancel at any time. And there are other plans. You don't have to get it every month. You can get it every other month, quarterly, whatever works for you. So, you know, and I thought about that too. I might just drop my plan down to, you know, 4 times a year or something like that. That would be like a nice little surprise for myself, you know, every quarter. I don't know yet about that. So I'm just putting all my decisions on hold until I see the next block, next month, or next box. I mean, not block. Okay, so let's move on to a demo. Thread cutters. Not something that I used to use a lot. I've had several, but there's one I bought, and I showed it to you last week, that I'm really, really loving. So I thought I would do a comparison of the thread cutters that I already own, because I know a lot of you probably own some of these, and tell you what I like and what I don't like about each one. So I'm going to insert that little video clip in here right now. This week I thought I'd talk about the various types of thread cutters that one can buy. And these are meant for when you're chain stitching. So, you know, you have a long row of pieces and you want to cut the threads that join the pieces together between them all. Now, I usually use my snips for it because I'm usually wearing them around my neck. But I have had various thread cutters, and I have one now that I really like. This one I'm showing you on the screen is one of the first ones that came on the market and is very, very popular. And it's by Gypsy, and it's called the Cutting Gizmo. And essentially you have a blade at the very top, and you just take your thread piece that's connecting 2 or more pieces, and you just put it there and pull down, and away it goes. It works very well. Nothing wrong with this device. But the one thing I found is I usually set these up on my table for my sewing machine, and it gets in my way. So I'm constantly grabbing it, putting it back up, taking it down when I'm done, because I can't leave it sitting on the table because it gets in my way. So needless to say, I just am a little lazy. I don't pull it out every time. I just use my snips. But then I got this. I got this in the Missouri Star Quilt Christmas box, And this one's a little bit more unique. It's the same principle, but if you notice in the flower wheel that what you have is a rotary cutter blade. And this is a great way to use your dull rotary cutter blades. And I believe this one holds about a 45 millimeter. It might be a 60. Can't remember. But it's very easy to assemble. There's a little screw on the front. You just loosen that off. The flower comes apart in two pieces. You drop your spent rotary blade into it and then put the pieces back together, tighten them up with the screw, and they sit in this little stand. And it's really quite easy to use. It's a little shorter than the Gizmo, which makes it a little more convenient to use, but I still have the same problem. I need to put it on my sewing table and I need to move it out of the way when I am sewing because, yeah, I just need to. But I do like it, and I like it a little bit better than the Gizmo simply because it's shorter, and in a sense, you're not throwing away a used rotary blade. You're getting a little bit more life out of it using it for this purpose. But the one that I bought recently that I really love is this one by Thread Cuts, Cuttz, I believe. You can get them on Amazon, and they come in two colors, black and purple. Now, I bought the purple one because, one, I don't really care what color it is, but it was a lot cheaper, by about $10 than the black one. But since then, I think I have figured out why that is. This piece, the housing, is made of plastic. The black one is supposedly metal or stainless steel. I'm not sure. It's a little confusing in the description on Amazon, whether or not they're referring to the housing or the blade itself. And there's a little blade right under this, so it's safe. You really can't cut yourself on it, and it has one at both ends. So although you can't really replace this blade, it's going to last you a long, long time, especially you have two different ends. The thing I like about this one is I can mount it. It has a 3M sticky tape that you just mount onto the side of your sewing machine. It holds very well, and it's right there all the time. It's out of my way, but when I need to use it, it's there. And I've been using this a lot, and I really, really like it. Now, I think it's way overpriced. I paid about $15 Canadian on Amazon.ca for this, and as I said, the black one was about $10 more. I have since gone back to Amazon because I thought of buying a second one to put on my travel machine because I like it so much, but suddenly the price has gone up to $30. It has doubled. That is a little thing that Amazon tends to do, depending on how many they have in stock and whether they're trying to get rid of them or not. So beware of those kind of prices. I might check again to see if it's come back down because I'm not paying $30 for this little sucker. I love it, but I don't love it that much. But those are the various thread cutters that I use, and this is the one I find that I've had the most success with. And I will put a link to this cutter in the show notes below. So now we come to the YouTube channel of the week, and this one's called Sugar Stitches Quilt Company, and I came upon it by accident, but I think this one's worth checking out. This week's YouTube channel of the week is called Sugar Stitches Quilt Company, and I've came upon this by accident because I saw a video called How to Make 32 at a Time Half Square Triangles, and this really fascinated me. So I watched it, and it was a very good video, very clearly done, very easy to follow. So let's take a look at what else they have to offer. Unlocking the mysteries of fabric bias, piece a block faster than ever before, learn how to create a cut raw edge applique design, get perfect HSTs every time, etc. There's all kinds of things here, including how to make 32 at a time half square triangles. In the playlist, the way it's organized, we have raw edge applique, we have quilt block tutorials, sewing machine basics, accurate sewing, and piecing. The playlists really do not reflect, though, the great number of videos that this individual has on their site. So I suggest you check out Sugar Stitches Quilt Company for tips, tricks, and maybe to learn a few things you didn't already know about quilting. Now, that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week, and this comes from Marilyn Kaczynski. And I'm not sure if I'm saying Marilyn's last name correctly, and if I'm not, I am so sorry, Marilyn. But she sent me pictures of a really beautiful creation. Here it is. This week's quilt of the week from a subscriber comes from Marilyn Kozinski. I hope I said your last name right, Marilyn. And Marilyn made this really beautiful exploding heart pattern. And she says this was made for her 4-year-old granddaughter, who I'm sure is going to absolutely love it. And it is the exploding heart pattern, as I said, by the House of Pie quilt. It's made with Tula pink fabric for top backing. The backing is Shannon Fabrics in a mint color. And I don't know, do we have a picture of the backing? No, we don't, but there's another shot of the quilt itself. And it's 72 inches square. And she used her AccuQuilt for the HSTs and loved that the pattern gave AccuQuilt options. So yeah, this is a really beautiful quilt. I have never made an exploding heart, but after seeing yours, Marilyn, I'm really thinking I should give this a try. So thank you for sharing that with us. Now, for future projects, what I'd like to get to at some point in time, this is a free quilt pattern by Free Spirit, and it's called Electric Slide Quilt, and it looks easy, but quite a spectacular result given whatever fabrics you pick for it. This week's future project is a pattern from Free Spirit called Electric Slide Quilt, and this one is a free pattern, and I've put the link in the show notes below for where you can pick it up. And basically, it is a version of a log cabin style quilt, but set on point, and I think it's very, very pretty. And that's what caught my eye because of the very bright colors that they used in this particular one. Now, of course, in this pattern, they do have a line of fabric that they want you to use, or what they're suggesting you can use, but you can use anything that you like. It lists all the cutting features that you need to know about this particular pattern. And yeah, I think it might be somewhat involved in making, but you can see here they have a diagram, and as I said, it's sort of a modified log cabin. And really, I think once you get going, it's not going to be very difficult to put together at all. And I did see it on Adam Sews. He was doing it with Tula pink fabric, and that's what caught my attention. So I'm thinking of going through my stash and finding some really bright and beautiful fabrics that I could use for this. And I don't have to use the same fabric for every one of the blocks. As you can see here, they show you what they're using, but very, very simple quilt and very effective. And if you didn't want to set it on point as they have here, and I do like the on point, you could just adjust them, and I think that's what Adam was doing, so they go in a different direction. And so then I suppose you don't have to worry then about making the set in triangles for it as well. So that's called Electric Slide Quilt, and it's by Free Spirit, and the link to that free pattern is in the show notes below. And I do have a interview up this week. It is with Holly Schmidt of Dandelion Stitches, a lovely lady. She's got a great YouTube channel, and well, she was just a delight to interview. So here's my little teaser for that. Goes to your YouTube channel. What can they expect to find? What's your content?
My content has strangely gone from a lot of quilting to a lot of box openings. People love a box opening, including myself. And I feel like sometimes the people who create those boxes are charging kind of a lot of money for maybe not the best stuff.
Right.
So I've kind of made it my job to say, okay, here's what's in the box, here's what I think, and why I think that, so that I can kind of help people choose where they want to invest their money if they indeed want to do a subscription box. We're going to start up again in March, a 3-month battle of the boxes where I present the box and they vote, and boy, do people get passionate about voting. And so there's a lot of that, but I do tutorials, and a lot of suggestions. A lot of times people will be interested in a tutorial about something specific, or if I get a good haul of fabric, we look at that. So honestly, you don't know what you're going to get with me.
And you will find a link for that interview with Holly in the show notes below. I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you'll check out her YouTube channel as well. And in the show notes of that interview, you will find the link to her YouTube channel. Give her some support because she deserves it. And yeah, now, if by chance you go, you see this first, and depending on how long it takes me to get it up onto YouTube today, I might actually have it up, this one, the Idiot Quilter episode, up before the interview goes live. I have already put the interview up, but I scheduled it so it will go live at 10. And when I say live, I mean it'll be there for you to link to. So if you try to link to it before 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern time, you'll maybe not get anything at all because it's not active. So come back to it. So as I said, the link for it is in the show notes below. So that takes me to online quilt stores for this week. This one is called Here a Stitch. This week's online quilt store is called Here a Stitch Quilt Shop, and I believe it is located in Nova Scotia. And let's just go to the About and see exactly where it's located. It is located in Bedford, Nova Scotia. Now, they do not have a brick and mortar store. It is all online. So let's jump right into their fabrics. And they have fabric by the meter, holiday fabrics, pre-cut bundles, basic fabrics, canvas, flannel, panels, patterns, notions, tools, and gift cards. Okay, and then it looks like here you can also go by brand. Interesting. They don't have Northcott, which is a Canadian company. They have a lot of American companies, so I'm surprised at that. But let's just go fabric by the meter and see what we have here and see what their prices are. Okay, fabric by the meter, quite a few pages, $10.49, $10.49 a meter, $9.99 a meter in some cases. Wow, that is cheap, really cheap. Let's just click on one to make sure that's by the meter because no, it is not. I knew that was too good to be true. No, little bit of a misnomer there under their product categories. I mean, they sell it by the meter, but their prices are not by the meter. Their prices are sold by the half meter. So yeah, they're expensive. I would have been shocked at $10.49 for a meter. So basically, a meter of fabric then is going to cost you what, about $21 for that. That is on the higher end of fabric prices. But I do know down on the East Coast that fabric prices, so I've been told by people who live there, are a little bit higher than what we're used to paying for in my area. Okay, let's do the brands thing. Let's see. Let's pick something that's fairly popular, like Michael Miller fabrics. Okay, so now some of them are on sale for $6.50 a half meter, so that's not bad. That would only be, what, $13 a meter. So that's pretty good. And that's all they have in Michael Miller. Okay, so they look like they list a lot of brands, but I guess you just have to hunt. Like Art Gallery Fabrics, they're kind of nice. They have them listed by their collections. Luna and Laura, let's see what that's all about and look at the price. Okay, that's just a 1/4 meter bundle on sale for $44.99. I have a feeling that everything, when you see these sale things, this is a trick that is done by most of the websites I've noticed now. They will show you an original price and then they say it's on sale. Is it on sale or is that their regular price? Not sure, one way or the other. I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it's a price you like. Who else can we take a look at? Well, they got Moda, so there's some lines in Moda as well. So we'll go to Celestial. And yeah, a lot of pre-cuts on that too. So it looks like, let's go back to Fabric by the Meter and just really see how much of a selection they really have. Now they claim they've got like 32 pages of fabric. So there's 499 results. So, okay, big selection there. I'm interested in their pre-cuts. let's just see, half meter bundles, quarter meter bundles, fat quarter bundles, 10-inch, 2.5-inch, and 5-inch square packs. Let's take a look at their jelly rolls. And they've got Riley Blake, Ruby Star, Irene and Irene. I'm not familiar with them. And there's 41 in total, so not too bad a selection in terms of quantity. Let's take another look at, say, a fat quarter bundle. Cloud9, Riley Blake. Prices are about what you'd expect. They might be a little higher, not really sure, but okay, and they've got 82 selections there, so okay, that's not too bad. All right, let's take a look at panels, because panels seem to be very popular these days. And okay, nothing much here to choose from. A Halloween one, a Christmas one, and then these. One's an apron panel, one's a stocking panel. Yeah, so not much of a selection when it comes to panels. They have flannel patterns, quilt patterns, bag patterns, and clothing patterns. So let's take a look at quilt patterns. Okay. Yeah, again, their selection of patterns is not incredible here. And most of these I've seen in other places as well. So, and what are they charging? 16, 17, $18, $15, $20. Again, all the prices are a little bit on the high end here. Notions and tools. Well, let's check their batting out. And heat and bond, Hobbs, crib size, full size, Quilter's Dream. That seems to be one that people really like. Throw size, craft size, twin size. Nothing by the meter though, by the looks of things. It's all pre-bundled, and it looks like the largest they're carrying is full size in the Hobbs. Okay, that's a little disappointing as well. All right, let's look at build your bundle. This is an interesting concept. Build your own fat quarter bundle. Mix and match coordinating fabrics to create your own custom fat quarter bundle, or create a stash builder bundle with those fabrics you need in your collection. A minimum of 4 quarters are required to build your bundle. There's no maximum. Okay, so basically they're taking us back to our fabric page. So it looks like you can build your bundle from any of the fabrics that they have. And if you're building the bundle, do you get any discount? Well, not really. $5.25, that's high for a fat quarter bundle, or for a fat quarter, period. $5. Okay. Yeah, so what's the big advantage here? I don't see any advantage to this whatsoever. If they were offering you a bit of a discount, because they do ask you to have a minimum of fat quarters to build a bundle, but price-wise, you're just paying, by the looks of things, exactly what it would cost you to buy 4 individual fat quarters. No real discount. So I'm really not sure what the discount is, or what the advantage of this is. I guess you see what they offer that they will have cut into fat quarters for you. They have new arrivals. Let's see what they've got in here. They really do like the fat quarters, don't they? Yeah. Okay. And sale. And again, I'm never sure if this is really a sale or just what they usually would price them at. Okay, it is an option. Here at Stitch Quilt Shop. I don't think I'll be ordering from them. Oh, one thing I didn't check though is their shipping, how much shipping is. Do they have a section about? Yes, here we have shipping and returns. Canada shipping is flat rate of $10.99 for orders up to $149. For orders over $149 before tax, shipping is free. So $150, you get it free. US flat rate's $20.99. That is not a bad price for shipping. So I'm impressed by their shipping and the fact that you only need $150 to get free shipping out of it all. So that's okay as well. But overall, am I going to order from them? I don't think so, because really their selection is okay, but it isn't anything I can't get in my own area. And price-wise, I can. It's a little bit on the high side for me. So you might want to check out Here a Stitch Quilt Shop. And that brings me to pretty much the end of this episode of the Idiot Quilter for this week. Just a reminder that we have Sew with Stephanie and Stephen tomorrow morning, Wednesday, March the 8th, starting at 9 a.m. and running for about an hour and a half, and that's Eastern Time. And if you have been part of the Stephanie and Stephen, the sew along that we had a few weeks ago, and you've got your quilt all finished from that, meaning you've got it quilted, bound the whole bit, and you'd like to share it with us, please send it to me by next Tuesday. That would be March the 14th. Yeah, my dates are getting really screwed up here. I think I had this March the 18th, but no. Send it to me by... Nope, sorry. Sorry, people. We said we'd like them sent to us by March the 18th for the trunk show. The trunk show will be on the following Wednesday, which would put that at, I'm trying to do this in my head, if the 22nd. It will be March the 22nd when we're doing that, okay? I better check with Stephanie to make sure I haven't got my dates all screwed up. So send it to me by March the 18th. Why earlier than that? Because I need time to put the slideshow together for. Now, don't panic if you'd like to share your quilt with us, but you don't have it finished. When you get it finished, you can send it to me at any time, and I'll feature it as one of the quilts of the week here on my episode. So no pressure, okay, for that. And of course, advance notice, I will have my spring retreat on May the 6th, Saturday, May the 6th. It's an all-day thing. There's lots of fun, guest speakers, prizes, things like that. And next week, I will be sending out the official announcement with all the details about that. I will be posting it here on my channel. I'm going to do a special video about it. I will also have anybody that's on my retreat mailing list will also get that information sent directly to their email box. So again, if you want to be part of that mailing list, just let me know. Also, if you're not sure whether or not you're on that mailing list, again, send me an email and I will check that out and let you know for sure, one way or the other. Okay, so I think that's it for me for now. Thanks for joining me today. So Chatty will be up on Friday. Probably we've got a really weird day on Friday coming up. And again, if you saw my vlog yesterday, you know what I'm talking about. It has to do with my shower stall. And of course, Stephen and Walter live on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll see you sometime soon, I hope. Bye for now.